My name is Link, yes, I'm the savior of our world. I killed off Ganondorf and even got the girl. But now I'm stuck with someone different for my bride. Thus was the downfall of the great hero of time. I'll tell you my sad story now, invite the earth to cry. The story I call my inner life.
Guys, Caleb here, back again with more bad fanfiction theater, and this time we have a new guest aside from Blue. Say hi, guest.
Hi. Oh, wait.
Oh, no, you were doing fine. Go ahead. Oh, introduce yourself. Your turn.
Hi, I'm Dave.
Hi, Dave. Blue over here. How you doing today?
I do this webcomic thingy called Jack. Maybe you've heard of it?
Hey, Dave, are you ready to read some really bad, oh, jeez, it's a wall of text. So let me catch you up on the story, Dave. So, it turns out there's this chick named Jenna, right? And she's like super hot, and Link loves her, and Zelda's a bitch, and I don't know. Hi, I'm Dave, and yes, I do. Jack and Cleb has invited me to participate in her reading of this what looks to be an awful Legend of Zelda.
Oh, you have
parody?
No idea. We're talking about my inner life, and we still have this to read, and we still aren't finished with it.
It looks like you're a little past the halfway point.
Yep, and the story hasn't even kicked in, is the funny thing.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So, who wants to start reading? We're going to do this by paragraph.
Kassie, my hand is all the way in the air.
Alrighty then. Well, who wants to read second? Me or you, Blue?
I'll go.
Okay, I'll go last then. Dave, whenever you're ready, get started.
You want me to read the chapter heading as well, right?
Yes, please.
And the story is called My Inner Life?
Yes.
And the author is?
Link's Queen. Or Jenna. Or
Edward. Edward Elric.
Okay. My Inner Life by Link's Queen. Chapter, I don't know. A newfound power.
There we go. Sorry.
A nude hope.
A nude hope, yes. A newfound power. Emerging from the water temple, Link and I ascended from Hyla? From Lake Hyla. I'm sorry, like I said, the last one I played was Super Nintendo. I don't know this. From Lake Hyla and into the bright sunlight. The storm had stopped and all was quiet. We held on to each other as we made our way to... Did it just go from third to first person? As we made our way onto our horses, Midnight Star and Star Dance. Two horses, they both have Star in the name.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm already losing hope. Midnight Star and Star... What was that?
I said you had hope.
Vampoil, hope, bombs.
Oh, I see. You're hope vampires, and you feed on this, and you're gonna suck me dry. Midnight Star, go ahead.
Sorry, we do this a lot.
Midnight Star and Star Dancer had found themselves some grass to gnaw on that had pushed its way up through. That's not the right through.
No,
the snow.
Stop.
We pushed our way through again, and up to our waiting horses.
Link.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes, I'm sorry. I trampled on you. I apologize.
Keep in mind, though, that earlier she said the snow was up to their knees. The question is, up to her knees or up to the horse's knees? And how does grass grow up through the snow if it's that high?
Or is it?
Must be that. Oh, you haven't seen my neighbor's house. The grass does get that high. Go ahead, Blue.
Link helped me on into my saddle. Oh, baby. And then he removed the iron boots, which he somehow didn't already remove in order to get out of Lake Hylia, and replaced them with his regular ones, buckled the Master Sword back around his back, fastened his saddlebags, then mounted Midnight Star.
Oh, my.
Looking back at me one last time, he smiled. Oh, by the way, my love, I managed to retrieve the raising his
What part of
hand.
Harlem does Link come from?
Blue is
He's
known
dark
for
like
his
now.
voices.
Yeah. Like, the whole joke was basically, he's, because we basically said that he switched with Dark Link, and well, for obvious reasons.
Oh, okay, I see.
I looked at him with a smile. Wait, so, what was I,
Managed to
raising his
retrieve
hand-
these.
raising his hand, he held up my Phoenix Circle. I looked at him with a smile, and took the weapon, and fastened it to my belt. I nodded. I was ready. And I glimpsed back at the lake one last time. We booted our horses in the lake, and headed for home, leaving the water temple behind.
Phoenix Circles is not a pet name for her body parts, is it?
No. She's trying to... Okay, I'm gonna get the word wrong without Hushto here to help me. They're supposed to be chakarns. Like those circular blades from India. I believe it's from India.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I see. They little yo-yo things.
I suppose. Shows how much I know. When we reached home, we dismounted and ushered the horses back into the stable. Then we went into the house. I'm starting to lose my place for... After we walked, in, I saw Ruto sitting by the fire with our little son, because that makes sense for a water princess. When she looked up at us, her eyes grew big with shock. Oh my
I wasn't
God.
gonna burn this thing!
It's not a turkey, Ruto, what are you doing? Oh my goddesses, what the hell happened to you two? Removing the tattered Zora tunic, I staggered to the couch and sat down. Even though I was soaking wet, just came in from the cold, I should be a giant...
When isn't she soaking wet?
Ha 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 ha. Oh wait, that was Ruto asking her that. I don't care, Valley Girl. We got the shit beat out of us. Now I can't do the Valley Girl. Whatever. I replied darkly. I watched as Link removed his damp cloak and scabbard, then staggered over to the couch and sat down beside me, soaking the entire... Got the shit beat out of you, ... By who? Ruto questioned again, with worry and shock. I looked directly into the Zora's concerned eyes. It's a long story, Ruto. Are you up to it? She nodded back in response.
After we explained about our terrifying experience inside the water temple, Ruto's eyes stared at us in pure shock. Oh my goddesses! Jenna, you have power over the elements! Ruto said with shock in her voice. I'm not sure. I have no memory of the events Link described to me. The last thing I remember, I was being knocked into the tree after the Dark Link broke through my defenses. But Link said I destroyed his counterpart. Is this the same person talking? Oh.
Who
Yeah.
knows? The author doesn't know.
Oh, okay. But there's quotation separating it, but it's just, But Link said I destroyed his counterpart inside... I can't do the voices. Inside the Heal Energy Ball. I sighed, shaking my head. I still don't understand it. I never had powers like that before. Maybe they were dormant until now, Ruto added. It's a possibility, Link said. You have a point, but I wonder what could have activated it. I responded skeptically. Maybe it was activated through the... that's through again. The immense anger you experienced when Dark Link attacked you. I used to have a lot of problem with the wrong word as well, so I can't complain too much, but I'm still going to point it out inside in disgust.
Yeah, I do the same thing. My spelling is shit, but well, not necessarily spell check, but I'm like, really? You can't, do something to figure out how words are properly spelled? Like, I've learned, little things to do to remember the correct spelling.
It's the hard lesson of figuring out you need to reread what you've written, and you also need to get somebody else to read it.
Yep.
Who else would you get to read this, is the question.
Death, maybe? Because he likes to kill people with...
Well, if she doesn't have money, she can hold them at gunpoint, I guess.
I suppose.
Link said as he took a sip of his honey tea. I pondered the thought, wondering what happened.
Death,
but it's to the slower death? What? Oh, it is
I think reading this is a much worse step than gunpoint.
Actually, I think I might choose the gun myself as opposed to reading this.
I pondered the thought, wondering if that could be what happened, but it still sounded too far-fetched. I think I should go see Princess Zelda tomorrow. Maybe she can help answer this. Why is Zelda helping when she stole her man? I don't know.
Because they're supposed to be like...
Oh, they besties?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I said, as I looked at Rutto, well, I think that's a wise decision. Maybe she can help. Rutto said as Link nodded in agreement. Looking over at Link, his eyes seemed to glow with anticipation. Of what?
Again with the eyes.
They glow off.
Were they glowing with
They were
painting?
glowing dark red because she's actually dark.
Dark red with anticipation? Does he feel on
Not
Anticipation
going,
of
kill
murder.
her! Kill her! Use your, like, Dr. Frankenfurter powers to murder Jenna!
I still
And
don't get
the-
that part.
There should be more paragraph breaks, right?
Yes.
This is all one solid paragraph.
Yep.
For a moment, I was able to read his mind through them, only to have the connection break.
Well, it's been a long day. I'm tired and I want to get cleaned up. Let's call it a day. I eyed Link over. You can stay here tonight, Rudo.
How precious
I
of you.
still don't think it would be wise for you to head back to Zora's domain until morning.
She should
I
have
said
never
as
left.
She really shouldn't have. I said as I handed Rudo a pillow and blankets. Thank you kindly, Rudo returned appreciatively.
Am I missing something? Is Rudo a disabled child?
Well, she might as well be for the fact that she went through miles of snow when she could have, took a shortcut to get there.
Rudo's a fish person, but I can't think of her proper fish voice, so that's...
And then
that's
also she should be asking to be put in a tub full of water, not given blankets and a pillow.
Once again, he hasn't played Ocarina of Time, so I'm just explaining that to him.
Okay.
I have to do double the explaining. Oh well.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's cool, it's cool. Rudo...
Start again at thank you kindly. I want to hear that voice.
Oh. Thank you kindly, Rudo returned appreciatively as she took
Worse
the
than Jar
blankets.
Jar Binks.
I was
Yeah,
going to say,
really.
it kind of makes me think of, what was that character from He-Man? I think it was from...
It's not Orko?
It
No.
might be. I've never seen He-Man. I just, like, sometimes hear the voices.
Rudo returned appreciatively as she took the blankets from me and proceeded to make a place for herself by the fire. I'm going to send Lily and Navi to sleep down here tonight. If you need anything, they'll get it for you. I said as Rudo nodded in return.
Yeah, she went from Valley Girl to Harry Potter villain when you with your voice.
Yeah, she took
Voice
it. I kind of
changing
make it to that.
disease. A lot of people have it.
Boo, are you going through puberty as we read this story?
No, I'm 18.
Yawn. We actually say yawn. Yawn.
Yawn. Oh, let's say it together. 3,
Yawn.
2, 1. Yawn.
Well,
Rejected.
My feels.
yawn. Well, I'm heading up. Coming, Link? I asked him tiredly. My Valley Girl does not want to work. Yes, my love. I need to clean up as well. He said,
You realize that's the definition of a valid girl, right? Not wanting to work.
He said as he ascended the stairs behind me.
As I prepared our bath, Link was busy removing the tattered clothes from his body. While I watched the water swell in the tub from the heat, I began to think of what Link said. The notion that I might have powers over the elements frightened me, since I had no idea I'd ever be able to control such power. I just hoped that if I had such power, that I would be able to take control of it.
When the water was ready, I removed my tattered and torn dress and called for Link to join me. Slipping down into the water, it was a relief to finally remove the dust and dirt from my body. I slipped over to Link and into his muscular arms.
There needs to be some sort of lazy trombone playing music in the background.
Really needs to be. I huddled against him as he took the wash rag and begun to clean my wounds and scrub away the dried blood. As I laid there inside Link's strong arms, I felt secure, felt protected. Even in the light of what befell us that day, I was glad that I went with him. Who knows what might have happened if I didn't?
Well, he wouldn't have to worry about your stupid ass and probably could have, fought Dark Link by himself like he did previously.
Pretty much, yeah. He could have still been prisoner to his evil counterpart.
Bullshit, because Link was never prisoner to him, and Dark Link isn't necessarily evil.
Nor is a part of a council.
Is evil counterpart a pet name for Link? Never mind. Go ahead.
Okay.
Though everything that happened that day still haunted me, it haunted my dreams, and that night was the first night when sleep evaded me, contradicting sentences.
Yeah. Morning came, and the morning sun rung through the window and into the room. I opened my sleepless eyes and started out of bed.
You don't really need to point out wrong through every time. It would be more accurate to point out right through when it happens.
Probably.
We will throw a party when the right through comes through.
I think it's because Hushito always does it, and so it's like ingrained in my mind to point that out now, even though it's kind of dumb too. So sorry if that joke gets overused. Well, not really a joke, but it becomes so repetitious it's not funny anymore.
I know. We've taken away someone's immersion.
I think this entire story didn't give a shit about other people's immersion. And into the room, I opened the Zerdo bed. I walked over to the crib where our son lay. His sweet little face was so innocent as he slept peacefully in his crib, with his fairy Arya snuggled next to him. For some reason, he has a fairy.
His fairy area. That sounds like a euphemism for something.
Another pet name.
Exactly.
I reached in and gently brushed my fingers across his soft cheek, smiling to myself.
Which one?
Well, it would not surprise me if she suddenly became a pedophile, because what if she lost Link? Well, the only thing she'd have is Link Jr.
Exactly.
Smiling to myself as I watched him sleep. I love you, my son. I don't know what would have happened to you if you'd lost us. Then why did you go with Link? Why did Link even go there? Dark Link wasn't doing anything. Ruto just showed up and was kind of like, hey, there's somebody hanging out in the water temple.
It was quite literally chilling, the area got a little colder than usual, and she blamed Dark Link for it for no reason.
Maybe he was making a home in there. Why shouldn't he make a home there?
Well, that's where he was before all this stuff happened. That's where he was originally in the game.
You can't let one Dark Link move into the neighborhood, then several Dark Links will move in.
A single tear trickled down my face, and then a single tear trickled down the face of the readers, because it never ends.
I haven't stopped crying.
It's just like that one commercial where, there's that Native American, and there's just a single tear.
Yeah. Don't worry, my son. The face of death isn't going to keep us away from it. You don't know that.
Cold. So it had to happen at the very day the last chapter ended.
Well, actually, it happened 2 weeks after the last chapter ended.
8-year-old yet.
So it actually sort of does make sense this time around.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
As much as I hate to credit the author, she was right on her lot. She must have actually researched it.
She did her homework. All right. Well, let's stop. Give her
applause.
Yeah. Applause. Prospered in the military. He is now fleet general of the king's entire army. Link was promoted after he stopped an assassination attempt on the king's life 6 months ago. Not interesting. That's why we didn't cover it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Lily and Navi have been keeping us protected because we can breathe fire from our hands, and Link is some big swordsman, but we need our kids to keep us over the oh no, those are the fairy things, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what are they gonna do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
The Deku Tree gave them and their kid fairies. But
okay.
which is since we haven't played Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
No, but
they don't
I
actually
do know about look, listen, and hey, listen, and all the rest of that.
Basically, they're pointless, and
Only
fairies are
Kokiri.
really only given to the Kokiri. So.
And they're not coherent.
Over the last year, said fairies had helped our lives, helped keep our livestock safe from the wolfos. That's racial slang, isn't it?
No, it's actually
a monster in the
werewolf.
Oh, okay. There's monsters in the last chapter.
You're really breaking up.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Oh, what is the connection not going through anymore?
It wasn't while we were talking about wolfos.
Oh, okay.
I heard it, but it was harder to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, let me start that over the last year.
No, we heard what you said about wolfos, and we just didn't hear you, so we can just continue on.
Okay. Our farm was prospering. The crops were producing fine vegetables that year. And our fruit trees were producing unusual sized fruit. And I'm now 4 months pregnant. Again. I just can't seem to keep my leg.
Indeed. Our life together was nothing like ever before. The love Link and I share bonded even deeper over the last year. What? I thought it was as deep as it could get, specifically according to you.
No, it's deeper.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. They did a pagan bonding ceremony. I can't believe that.
Yes, the
Think of the highest number and add one.
What?
Infinity. Think of the highest number and add one.
Stop drinking. It, becoming telepathically connected, spiritually, sexually, physically,
The pagan bonding ceremony is why they can read each other's minds.
Oh,
And
okay.
it involves piss drinking, and then having sex, and cutting their hands, and all
They did
that.
the whole thing naked in front of a bunch of random monks, who were probably just tricking them, really.
Now I grok.
Yeah. Our second anniversary was in just 3 days. So I had been planning for days.
No, it would be your first anniversary.
Not if they're... Wait.
Did they count the wedding as the first anniversary?
I guess, but
think it
that's
would
not how
be.
that works.
Why, no, but if the kid is 1.5 years old, I guess it would be, yeah. Well, then again, the time's kind of wacky here, so I don't really know if it is or not. I had been planning for days to have a very special anniversary this year, so I had gone to Kantara City to get Link a very special gift. I had saved my rupees for the entire year, and I managed to get him a gold-hilted dagger encrusted with jewels and a gold dragon pendant. I was going to make this 1 year to remember, and stab him with both of them.
You had saved Rupee. Really. Like, he's very high ranked in the military. You are best friends, considered family to the royal family, and you had to save. Fuck you, John. Fuck you. Then the day arrived, the day of our anniversary. Oh, that was so special.
The second one?
Junior.
It was so special, we needed 2 complete sentences. You nearly spent the entire day preparing for the most romantic evening ever.
The rest of the day was spent on the internet.
I had Zelda take Link Jr., Arya, and our family, and our fairies to stay with her.
They're like family.
Yes. To stay with her and Impa at the castle for the night, so Link and I could be alone. While I prepared dinner, I got into a sexy red dress and got all the extras we would need to have a memorable night. Then I lit the candles.
Memorial night.
Yeah. Is that memorial?
Yeah.
It is memorial.
And have a memorial night. Then I lit the candles around the room and put out the oil lamps to create a romantic...
Wait a minute. Why? She's doing all this while she's preparing food. She's really getting sidetracked here.
Mm-hmm. After I finished preparing dinner, I lit the candles on the table, put the food out, and...
About 10 minutes later, I heard a horse coming up to the stable. I removed my apron and rushed to the door to greet my hero home. As Link entered the door, his eyes widened. "Oh my goddess, you look sexy tonight, my love," he whispered into my ears as he pulled me into his arms, kissing me forcefully. Then we drew apart. Go ahead.
I said and snapped my neck.
Oh, stop. I looked into his sexy, jeweled eyes. "I love you, my sweet love. How I missed you today." "And I as well," Link said as he handed me a bouquet of roses. Then he pulled me...
I didn't know this until now.
Then he pulled me inside, closing the door. When he scanned the room, he was in shock. "Wow, my love, this all looks great," Link said as his eyes sparkled under the candlelight.
Wait! I'll go get my stuff!
Notice he never actually calls her by name.
No,
it's always
just my
love.
He doesn't... Speaking her name is like saying Voldemort in Harry Potter. You just don't do it.
It's like you say it enough times, Beetlejuice comes.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice!
"Happy anniversary, my love," I said as I handed him the gift. "Thank you, sweetheart," he returned as he put his gift down on the table. Then he went into the pouch he had at his belt and pulled out a gold box. "Happy anniversary to my goddess," Link said softly as he handed the golden-wrapped box to me. I took it and opened it to reveal a gold necklace. Well, it would be a lateral move. Reveal a gold necklace with a gold Triforce pendant encrusted with diamonds and matching earrings. "Oh my goddess, I just love it!" I cried as tears welled up in my eyes. Then Link took the necklace and put it on around my neck. "It looks beautiful on you, my love," Link said as he started kissing.
Wrapped and tightened the necklace in my neck, and I began to choke. The end.
And it's a happy end.
And everybody was saved. Hooray!
As he bit down gently on my neck, I turned my head to face him as I stroked the back of his neck.
Wow,
that's an awkward sentence. Yeah.
Link, you should go open your gift.
I whispered softly into his pointed ear. You know, this whole time I keep forgetting Link's ears are pointed.
Live long and prosper.
Yep. Link moved his head down and started kissing my shoulder. "You're right, my love. I'm going to open it now." He walked back to the table and took the box into his hand and pulled the ribbon off and opened it. "What the fuck? Holy crap! Oh my goddess, I love you," he said as he held the gold dagger and crusted. Taking the dagger, he swished it into my heart. Okay, not really. Into the air a few times before putting it into the sheath I provided for him. Then I walked into his arms and looked into his rippling blue eyes.
There's something wrong with his eyes. They're rippling.
That's supposed to ripple.
I think he accidentally gouged his eyes out when he was swishing it in the air.
One of the tears ran off her cheek and into his eyes.
Yeah. There. Wait, did you see what else was in the box? Okay, there's more? Link said with surprise.
"Look under the tissue, my love."
Wait, did you read that? Because last I heard was rippling blue eyes.
Oh, fine,
Did you see what else was in the box?
I said softly as I put my hands against his muscular chest. "There's more?" Link said with surprise.
"Look under the tissue, my love."
Rustling the tissue aside, his eyes widened with shock as he held the golden dragon pendant in his broad hand. "You're the greatest wife, my dear," Link said, as he grabbed me and pulled me into his arms once again.
You know, just because you're in a fantasy world doesn't mean he wants a gold dragon.
Yeah,
also,
he could want something more practical, like a coffee mug that says "World's Greatest Dad" or a tie.
Yeah. Or maybe a new shirt or something. New boots. That would make sense for him to get. Also, you're not a part of the royal family, Jenna. Why are you getting a necklace with the Triforce symbol?
Boots that are maybe not made out of metal or endued with magical powers would probably be nice.
I'm just scrolling down and I'm looking at this, and this is a long ass sex scene. That's approaching us.
Awesome.
Well, let's hurry through this, because nobody wants to stay and look at Jenna. Slowly, he lowered his head down again. His breath tickled my skin as he gently nibbled on my neck, causing ripples of Wow, you really like
ripples of blood.
Or ripples.
Yes, we really like the word ripples now. A pleasure to run down my spine. I reached up and ran my hand down his cheek. That's the wrong cheek, is it?
Wait,
For some reason, I'm thinking that there
no,
should be an A.
there's not another sort of cheek, I don't think.
Well, for some reason, I was thinking there should be an A in there.
Oh, there isn't. It's a.
Yeah, okay. His cheek, as small moans of pleasure escaped past my lips. Then I felt his lips move slowly up my neck, then to my mouth as he kissed me forcefully, because I have some rape fetish now.
Yep.
His tongue slipping past my lips. As out tongues entwined, I felt his hands trickling up my side as he started sliding down the straps of my dress. My body started quivering under his gentle touch as he slid the top of my dress down, freeing my breast. He took his hand and gently ran over my breast, his fingers teasing the nipple, causing it to become erect, turning it into a small hard pebble. The sensation, yes, the sensation of his fingers caressing my sensitive nipple sent shocks of pleasure through my
Those
body.
things will put an eye out.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid, causing loud moans to pass my lips.
Gently he pushed me into the living room by the fire as he continued to pull my dress to the body. Then, letting it drop to the floor as his eyes hungrily drank my nakedness. Then he laid me down, getting on top of me as his hips moved back to mine, his tongue entering my mouth again. I let my hands run up under his tunic, feeling my way to the top as I gently pulled it off and tossed it aside. Then Link began to slowly kiss his way down my body, first to my neck.
Like they're suddenly related.
To the crevice between my breasts, then stopping at the navel as he kissed and caressed it with his tongue. Link continued to assault my body with his lips and tongue, causing my body to shudder with feelings of pleasure and ecstasy as I reached up and reflected on his immaculate skin. As I wrapped... Did I miss it? Yes, I missed the line. An ecstasy as I reached up and slipped off his white undergarment, exposing the rest of his heavenly naked body.
They say that's so...
The candlelight reflected off of his immaculate... The candlelight reflected off his immaculate skin as I wrapped my arms around him, pulling him down on top of me, forcing our lips to meet once again. As we kissed deeply, passionately, our tongues entwining once again and again. I had begun to feel his heart beating alongside mine as the connection between us became full.
The way you read that, it sounded like you said, I had the gun to feel his heart beating alongside mine.
That would make the story more interesting.
Not better. Interesting.
Oh my god, that was horrible. Oh god.
Thank you, Gomer Pyle.
Wait, where did that hillbilly accent come from?
Just because.
Just roll with it, man.
I see what you guys did there.
Oh.
All up in that hanky-panky stuff.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
Just a second, I'm gonna stop for a little bit. I need to see something real quick.
Okay.
Sure.
I'll only be a few minutes.
Well, what do you think so far, Dave?
It's horrible.
While he is away, I'll see if I can find that clip.
Actually, never mind.
Oh, I'm so skipped.
Okay, I'm back.
Hi, back. Where's your buddy front?
Huh?
Your
Never mind.
best
The front-
friend, front.
I think the front is being stimulated right now in this part.
Oh.
Oh, was it my sexy voice?
Anyway,
Here we
so
go.
just continue on to where we left off.
I think Cassie's looking for something right
Yeah,
now, right?
let Dave watch this for a minute. Or did I not?
Hmm?
News, you shall be so Dave can watch.
Oh, what am I looking at?
Oh, this.
Yes.
Hold on. Where am I supposed to...
There should be, if you scroll down to the bottom of the Skype screen, there should be like a little, if you click on that.
Show I am. Okay.
It's the you.
Okay. Well, let's see what this monstrosity is.
It's lingerie. Sexy lingerie, but special moment in time.
There's a virus that will insert itself in a random...
Kleb's sexy lingerie.
Shit, your pants.
I'll know if you're not wearing it for your...
Just put the special extra something on the inside. Just to make
Oh, there's never...
Take off it.
And call me
It.
The best one.
special lingerie. Sexy lingerie for the special point in time.
She killed him!
Yep.
Special boingy time? Nice.
Blue made that after we read Sexy Santa.
Yeah.
Well done, Mr. Blue.
Thank you.
Okay, now we can get back.
Okay, so just begin where we left off.
Yeah, I think it's your turn.
Yep, it is.
Okay.
Then we drew. Oh, okay. Then we drew apart as he slowly rose up, taking one hand and gently running it over my breasts again. His fingertip teasing the hard mounds as the other slid its way down. Oh, way down my body. First to
Way
my
down.
thighs. Yeah. First to my thighs, then to my leg. Then his hand pressed. No, that is spelled right. Pressed down into me as his fingers slid past the lips of my flower. What flower?
Her
Mhm.
vagina.
Dang it, you had to be literal. I don't know.
I've
Causing
never
my-
seen a vagina that looks like a flower. Just
No.
saying.
Mhm.
Neither have I. So, it maybe comes from the term pussy willow. I don't know, but it
Yeah,
still
those
doesn't
don't
really
look like grape flowers either.
Yeah, exactly. Causing my back to arc as a loud moan moved out my mouth and tore into the air. As I cried out in ecstasy, again as his fingers probed upward and brushed against my clitoris, causing it to fill with blood and become hard. It felt so good. Felt so intense. My whole body convulsed. It shuddered as he teased the clit by rolling the hard, sensitive part between his fingers. Then my body suddenly convulsed, and he slid his fingers further down and gently pushed 2 fingers deep inside me. The new sensation, how the fuck is this new? You've done this millions of times, causing my back to arc again, as my soft moan suddenly turned into loud tiger cries. It's the cry of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fuck.
Back to the tiger sex, are we?
Now, I want you to really sell this next paragraph, Cassie.
Well, I'm probably gonna fail hardcore, but let's try. Oh my goddesses, girl, Link, more baby, Link.
More baby. That's what she wants. She wants more baby.
That's the outcome, yeah.
She's trying to make her child strong. Oh, by the way, if you didn't know, they said that sex would make their child stronger. Like, some nurse actually said this earlier. The first time she
It was
was
a healer.
Yeah.
I screamed in pure ecstasy as his gentle steady made my legs quake. Then he pushed his fingers in deeper, his thrust reaching back to my G-spot, while his other hand... You know, I've never read a story where we were this literal in how having sex works.
Mhm.
I'm
I
like,
did read a book like that once, but it was in biology class. Yeah.
I don't see... Well, maybe it's because I haven't read much erotica, but I'm not really seeing too much of an issue here other than...
well, it's like
I-
when in your paragraph, like, she explains, like, this is how a clitoris gets hard. And, you know,
Oh,
and I'm
well,
like, why do we need to know that? We're reading a scene that's supposed to be sexy and erotic.
yeah, I suppose we don't really need the blood part. We already typically know that if we're reading it.
And, like, I don't need to know that this is in particular your G-spot. People, look, you have pleasure zones. We don't need to know the exact specifics. This is like when I was talking about the guy who wrote the story where the character just didn't start walking. He started walking southwest. And then he turned and was walking
Well, that's
north.
much worse than this, honestly.
But,
Well, you're reading this as if my inner life was autobiographical. Biographical.
Well, in a way, it sort of is, but if she's telling the truth about it being a lucid dream, which it probably is.
G-spot.
Yeah. His G-spot. His
His G-spot.
I can tell you where that is.
Who's ready for a pegging?
Reaching back to my G-spot, while his other hand teased the hard mounds on my breasts. If there's hard mounds on your breast, maybe you should get rid
It
of
could be
them.
cancer.
Then Link quickened his attacks as he sensed that my body was starting to be thrust over the edge.
No, Link, wrong sword!
This combination of attacks, Link was... Stop saying that! That doesn't sound sexy! Link, wait. This combination of attacks was placing upon my shuddering, pulsing body, caused my back to arc and twisted, while my cries of ecstasy tore into the air. Slowly started to climax. And when he rubbed his fingers against the most sensitive spot inside me, I screamed.
That's not the G-spot.
Mm-hmm. I screamed out as my body was finally thrust over the edge and into heaven.
The edge!
Oh my goddesses, Link! I cried as I gushed down Link's hand, the warm juices dripping through his fingers.
God.
You're gonna gush every time you have sex, apparently.
Yeah, well. I looked into his sexy blue eyes and saw a burning desire glowing in them. Then I got up.
That sentence over again? I didn't hear the beginning.
Sure. Panting, I looked into his sexy blue eyes and saw a burning desire growing in them. Then I got up and put my lips near his, whispering softly to him against them. Now, my love, it is my turn, I said seductively, as I reached my hand as his broad shoulders and gently pushed him onto the floor. After I pushed him down on the floor, I straddled him, laying my hands against his chest as I began to slowly trickle my fingertips over his hard, muscular body. His body quivered under my touch as soft moans rose from his throat and out his mouth.
I let my soft hands trace over the muscular outlines of his infatuated body, meaning he really doesn't love you, feeling the silkiness of his immaculate skin. Quietly, I watched his eternal blue eyes, because they're gonna exist forever, apparently. Watch as his eternal blue eyes pierced me, silently eating my body with a hungry desire. What sort of monster is... Oh, wait, Darkling.
He's hungry like the wolf, or the wolfless.
Oh, he turns into Twilight Princess Link.
Team Edward.
I continued running my hand softly, caressingly over his hard body, causing him to moan softly, his muscles contracting and releasing under my touch. Then I leaned forward and pressed my lips against his neck, letting out my tongue trace over his skin, tasting him. That sounds cannibalistic. I wanted nothing more than to taste every bit of flesh before... Oh my god! This is cannibalistic!
Link is on the
She's
menu.
gone.
I wanted nothing more than to taste every bit of flesh before me, to swallow its taste and savor its delicious feeling. Pressing my lips harder, I bit softly against his wonderful skin as I started to suckle on his neck, causing Link to groan out loud. "Oh, God, stop, you crazy bitch!" he said. After a little bit of teasing, How the fuck is that teasing? You're basically trying to
Not
cannibalize
quite
him. I slowly kissed my way down his body, my tongue tracing behind my lips as I made my way down to the swollen organ between his legs.
Slowly, I took the head of his member into my mouth, teasing the tender tip with my tongue. Then slowly I moved to his shaft, caressing it with my tongue.
Shaft?
With my tongue as I slowly licked up and down it. While I caressed his member with my lips and tongue, Link's soft moans soon turned into loud cries of pleasure and I felt his body quivering under my gentle hands as I ran one up over his body. His loud cries of ecstasy filled the room. Then Link let go a loud tiger-like cry.
Another like cry?
Yes. I took his member fully into my mouth, engulfing it. Slowly, I moved my lips up and down the shaft, digging my tongue up.
Shaft is one bad mother.
Wait, but I'm talking about Shaft and we can dig it.
Dragging my tongue dragging my tongue up the tender underside as I went. Little by little, I began to up the movement, causing Link to cry out in pure bliss as I caused waves of pure pleasure to go surging through his body, the fire radiating to his lower organs. Then I found a rhythm, and he started breathing faster as I started to take
I'm wondering, since she has control over the elements, quote unquote, if she means that quite literally when she says fire radiating to his lower organs.
Well, if she's going to eat him, he should be cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I found a rhythm, and he started breathing faster as I started to take him over the edge.
Nervous.
His heart started racing, his cries filled the room, and finally, when I took his nutsack and caressed it with my hand, it was his undoing. Link let out a
Only the most flowery of language.
Took his nutsack. They just said it, nutsack.
Link let out a loud tiger-like cry as he reached his peak. "Oh, goddesses, Jenna!" He cried, releasing his essence into my mouth.
Are all the goddesses named Jenna? He fell back panting, and I looked up into his eyes as I swallowed, tasting the sweetness of him. Slowly I moved back to his lips and kissed him passionately, the taste of him still on my lips. Then I felt his hands embrace me as he gently rolled me over.
Loved the taste of his own cum.
It's delicious! Rolling over onto my stomach, straddling my legs, I felt his member at the entrance of my pussy as he slowly slid his hard organ inside.
I just had the image of him like with a piano sliding it all the way up inside her.
Man started to penetrate deeper. I felt him move forward as his mouth began pressing down against my neck again. I felt my body begin to convulse as his steady, gentle thrust caused me to cry out like a female tiger. Ecstasy filled each note. His mouth pressed harder against my neck as he gently bit on it, his tiger-like groans being muffled against my skin. Then he thrust himself deeper into me, causing my body to shudder in pure bliss. My nails digging into the floor as my groans soon turned into loud cries of ecstasy. He continued to bite down on my neck and back in unison with his steady thrust, sending waves of eternal bliss to go surging through my body, through my every vein, as my loud tiger-like cries tore into the air.
This sounds like... You sound like you're like a preacher at a church or something, like saying this all like. It moved under him, teasing him, causing him to bite down even more as he started pushing himself harder, being filled with an angry tone. I cried out again as I bucked up against Link, my body shuddering until an even more violent spasm raged it, causing me to scream out in mind-boggling pleasure.
Hallelujah!
Then I felt myself being taken over the over the edge. His tiger-like groans passing his lips each time he bit down, dominating me like the white man. Like a male tiger mate. I cried out to him, bunked up against his legs, forcing him in deeper as I felt myself starting to climax.
Praise Jesus!
He started to thrust harder into my body as he bit down harder against the nape of my neck, his groans getting louder as he started to reach his peak. I pushed up against him as he thrust down hard again. Our cries filled the air as I finally thrust over the edge. With one last thrust, I bumped up against Link. One last time as I climaxed, my cries filling the air as I gushed out from his legs. Free at last!
Sing it.
Free at last! Thank the Lord Almighty, we are free at last. Then Link was over the edge. He bucked his head back and cried out as he released his essence deep inside me.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord.
Well, that was some kind of sermon. I collapsed to the floor, panting, my body shuddering violently, as I tried to move under Link.
That's called a seizure.
But he bit back down on my neck again, as his hands held tightly down onto my arm. Still connected, the immense sexual feelings still surged through our bodies as the after effects of our orgasms tingled in our lower causing us to thrust for more. For more.
We gotta keep digging.
There's gold somewhere in there.
I thrust for more.
Fighting with what strength he had left, Link thrusted himself down into me again. For, after you hit a certain point in sex...
Yeah, you're pretty done and it starts to hurt. You only have so much skin, Link.
Down into me again, forcing himself to reach a second peak all of a sudden. He started biting down on my neck and back again, grunting like a male tiger as he continued to thrust my... Okay, look, lady. We get it. You have a tiger fetish. You have some weird tiger fetish, but even with tigers, this is not how sex works.
Have you studied tiger sex, extensively?
At least as much as she studied the horses.
Okay.
Grunting like a male tiger as he continued to thrust himself deeper inside my tired, sweaty body. That's not sexy. Pushing to climax a second time.
It's second time?
Second, yeah.
Okay.
This is a long scene, you're right. Jesus.
Well, it is possible to go twice, for a lot of people, but, not a lot, but some.
Oh, are we bragging?
Depends on the person, really.
I believe you. Feeling the strength leaving my body, I screamed, hissed, as I forced my trembling body up against his, desperately trying to reach a second for the strength, as he forced his exhausted body down onto mine, his mouth sinking down harder onto my neck, causing a combination of pain and pleasure to go surging.
Doing that, your spinal cord is severed.
What? Wait, what? I don't see how that makes any sense.
Well, I don't know what position they're in at this point.
Well, it sounds to me like she's in cat mating position, which is she's on the bottom with her ass in the air.
I see. Thank you for that picture.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Although I didn't have that image in mind.
Well, that's what she's trying to tell us, is they're mating like cats.
Well, I just figured that, then how would
cat scratch fever
in each other's necks is the thing I was thinking of. So the
yeah,
only thing I could
to turn her head all the way around to bite him.
Oh yeah, Jen is a demon. I almost forgot that.
Sort of like Exorcist.
Exactly.
I screamed into the air. She sure does. My nails digging into the floor as I fought to go on. Pushing my exhausted body up against his, I forced him deeper as I felt myself slowly starting to climax. Again. I cried out to Link, grunting like a female tiger grunts, because they don't roar or meow or anything, they grunt, to urge him on as I felt my body starting to be thrust over the edge yet again. I wondered how many cliffs it can go over. At least one more, and this little story will be done. He returned my calls as tiger-like sounds escaped past his lips. Then I felt him. The fire in his lower organs sent raging shocks of pleasure through his body, causing him to cry in immense bliss. We thrust against each other, our bodies trembling and convulsing, while crying like tigers mating. She really does have this thing for tigers. As we came to full climax and exploded together one last time.
Allahu Akbar!
Boom! Shakalaka.
But anyway, with one last gasp, he collapsed on top of me, our bodies exhausted and dripping with sweat. He laid against my body, shuddering as he tried to catch his breath. We just laid there a while, shivering, trying to regain our strength after the shocks of our orgasm still raged through our hot, sweaty bodies. Then I felt Link gently kiss and lick the light wounds he left on my back and neck. As I heard him in my mind telling me how much he enjoyed the experience we shared.
It's all in our mind.
Like bruise all over and scratches. That was one of the best we had, my love, he said to me in my mind.
I don't need to know this.
This is like we knew the story she was writing was already a fantasy. This is a fantasy this is Inception.
It's just like what Caleb said last reading. It felt so good that I cannot wait until we do that again. I love you so much, my sweet Rose, Link added with passion.
I love you too, Link. I always will. Until I leave you for Edward Elric.
I returned lovingly.
Slowly we separated as I rolled over and laid. I looked into...
I don't think it's over yet.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back to the story.
Slowly we separated as I rolled over and laid next. I looked into his eyes as the glow of the fire reflected off, causing small flames to dance within them. I want this to be a memorial... Damn you, word!
No, this is actually memorable.
Okay, well, see, for some reason I'm derping and I'm trying to, for some reason I can't say it.
Your eyes have become accustomed to finding error.
Yes. It has been a blank night. Insert your own word there. My love. He returned...
Mad Libs!
He returned as a look of passion... Oh. As a look of passion and desire shone in those magnificent eyes. I'm not done showing you just how much you mean to me.
No.
As soon as I regained my strength, even though I had enough to come twice in a row instead of taking a small break, I'm going to give you more of my love, Link said softly as he traced a finger over my lips. Shocked with his sudden words. Why would you be shocked? I leaned over and put my lips close to his. You can do whatever you want to me, my love, 'cause tonight I'm yours for the taking. Being your wife and being willing, I'm pretty sure she's up for any time you are.
I'm pretty certain that's not exactly how marriage works.
No,
no,
but you know, okay, that's not how I meant it exactly. I didn't mean he could just rape her or anything, but I'm like, I'm confused at how she's shocked by the fact that he wants to have sex with her.
Right.
The fact that they just finished?
Especially since she wrote the story.
Fair enough.
I whispered softly to him against his lips, then Link grasped his hands around my face, pulling me close to him. Mucking my lips with his. What? Were we saying something?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Then Link grasped his hands around my face, pulling me close to him, locking my lips to his, blending
I just want him to clap as hard as he can.
What?
The end.
blending a series of small passionate kisses, which soon turned into ones that were more deeper and forceful.
Rape, 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 Anako rape.
I felt his body began to relax as he slowly began to stroke. His breathing began to even out and his heart slowed a bit. The after effects of the orgasms slowly started dissipating, leaving our bodies left with only the memory. Link gently pulled me against him and held me lovingly in his arms. His lips softly against my neck as the warmth of his body caused me to groan softly in his fine blonde hair. The feelings of our love-making still pulsed through my body, causing my lower organs to still cry for him in yearning. Feeling the pulse making my body wither and longing to feel him once more, I ran my hand down his cheek, causing his jeweled eyes to stare deeply into mine.
It sounded like you said Jewel Dash.
Link, you are ready for me again? I could, as I ran my hands seductively down his chest and over his soft member, causing him to become aroused once again.
Oh, God. His lips met with... I'm sticking with him,
try,
MLK.
Blue. I don't think you can do it.
I'm just gonna stick with MLK for these scenes.
Okay.
His lips met with my neck in response as he placed soft kisses on it. Then he softly kissed his way down to my breasts, his mouth resting on one of my nipples as he started to gently suckle on it. Soft moans of pleasure passed my lips as he nibbled gently on my nipple, causing it to become around. I can't do it. I'm just thinking of Martin Luther King saying all this shit. And it's just like, twisting me up, man. I swear.
I have, the visual I get from nipples causing it to become erect is that they were drooping and then they just suddenly sort of stood up.
Oh, God. Okay. Where was I? Then I clasped my hands around his muscular arms and broke his attack on my breast as I slowly begun to lay him down once more. Straddling him again, I slowly slid down his now swollen member.
Ow?
I
Yeah.
thought it already was.
Taking it slowly
Although it's in a lot of
inside.
pain.
It's like my
I
arms,
drew
which
a-
are badly sunburned.
I drew a sharp breath as his pelvis begun to grind against him in a slow rocking motion, causing Link to moan loudly in ecstasy, slowly at first, then I upped the movements, causing violent spasms to rage through our bodies. The loud vocalizations yet escaping past our lips. As I pushed down onto him, my body withered as shocks of one were sent through my every vein with the proper through. My body screaming in ecstasy as I felt the muscles inside of me contracting and releasing against his organ. Play that organ, Julie. Okay, but really, then I... Then I bucked my head back and screamed into the air as the violent spasm raged through my body, causing it to wither in immense bliss. Oh, megalipses, my goddesses, which I don't believe in because I was a Christian man. Yes! More megalipses! Link! Ellipses! Yes! I screamed again as I felt my body explode in pleasure. Allahu Akbar! My nails digging down into his arms.
Now, I think we should point out that the miracle that just happened is not so much that she came for the umpteenth billionth time. It was, as MLK pointed out, she actually did spell through correctly once, and then went back to spelling it the way she has throughout the whole story.
That happened before.
Yes.
About once or twice. Out of this entire story, which we are nearing the end, but that end is still so far
We're
away.
crawling to it, yes.
This will probably be 40. Because it's already trumped my immortal, which was 13. Link, too, cried out in immense bliss as I begun to move faster, grinding against his pelvis, his body shuddering violently, his heart beating faster as his broad hands grasped firmly against my breast. Wait, against your breast? He didn't grasp your breast. Okay. His fingers probing the nipples.
Ow!
Yeah.
It's poking them in and out like buttons.
The image in my mind is he's like, just like, going straight into them, stabbing into them.
Press.
Let me see if I can invert these into another place
Petunia
I can
comes
stick them.
out. Petunia goes in. Roxy comes out. I begun to feel Link's heart beating in unison with mine, his voice ringing loudly through my mind. Our souls connected, our bodies withered.
Yeah, they've withered before.
Our bodies withered together as I pumped faster.
They must look like prunes by now.
Well, considering how much sex they've been having.
There's no liquid left in their bodies. It's just a pile of skins with some bone outlines.
I think this is part of her Silverlight power. She can stay infinitely wet.
That could make sense, maybe. Withered together as I pumped faster, the sheer ecstasy raged through my body, radiating towards the nucleus between my legs.
Nucleus?
It's gonna blow.
Which one? There are a lot of nucleuses.
Nuclei.
Nuclei, sorry.
Then I thrust him deeper into me as I felt myself starting to climax. My body screaming and shuddering violently as though I was electrified in his arms. Ow.
Yes, thank you, Dunkling! You finally use your electric powers.
As I felt Link As I felt Link push up against feeling him starting to climax, I bumped my head.
That's not right, she's a flying type, therefore wind. It should be super effective.
I bucked my head back as my cries tore into the air. Ugh! Link with no quotes. Oh god, this is Link! I screamed as I reached my peak and gushed down Link's legs, the juices dripping down his side and onto the dripping down his side. Okay.
Yeah,
there are a lot of juices.
I have a feeling that they're never going to clean this up. Is the funny thing? Like, ever notice how they never describe them cleaning up afterward?
They just moved to a different place.
I just get the feeling that like their kids just like walk by and like are like, oh, the water came out the floor.
Dripping down his sides and onto the floor. Jenna! Again with no quotation. Link screamed as he climaxed, releasing into me again. Gasping for air, I crashed down on top of him, my body still shuddering and dripping.
I'll just lay there, embraced in Link's sweaty arms, our bodies still feeling the aftershocks of our orgasm. My fingertips traced over the broad curvatures of Link's face, his eyes sparkling with our loving glances. Then I nestled my cheek against his, my lips pressing softly against the lobe of his pointed ear. Slowly, I traced the outlines of his sexy ear with my lips and tongue, stopping every so often to gently nibble on the lobe. I listened to the soft moans that passed Link's lips as I sweetly nibbled on the tip of his pointed ear, weaving my tongue in and around the blue hoop earring he wore at the top. I felt Link's heart begin to beat slowly, hastily in my mind. The connection between us full. Then I felt my arms slowly begin to drift, and I nestled my head against the silky skin of Link's chest. I got cut up in silky skin.
When you do that accent, though.
It is, isn't it? His arms holding me in a protective embrace as I softly drift off to sleep. This was one night I was not going to forget. Link surely made this a memorable night, one that appeared in my dreams more than once, even during the time when we were separated too far for us. Go ahead.
Inception again.
Inception again. Yes, you're right. Too far for us to communicate telepathically. Often during the night we were embraced, our deepest love for each other. From the special bond we share, a bond that cannot be broken.
A bond of piss. Bond of piss.
Well, with all the juices and things they've been spitting out, they are now permanently stuck together.
Well, actually, well, remember, it did happen, the whole ceremony.
Yeah. That still doesn't mean it's any less gross.
Yeah.